Hey guys, welcome to 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast. And we have a new WWE Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion of the World. Drew McIntyre has defeated Cody Rhodes at a random SmackDown in Berlin that was taped and that I found out about online. Not even, I was ready to watch it live. And I guess I need to really get on my New Year's resolution of getting rid of Instagram because Instagram ruined it for me, and I was a little mad about that. But alas, anyway, we are here to talk about it with you guys and break it all down. As always, I am Mike, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill. And Sean, it is 2026, and WWE is going full bore here. How do we feel about having a new Universal Champion?
So I was not expecting the words new Universal Champion to not be attached to anybody besides Roman Reigns. So for this to happen and to finally put the belt back on Drew, who's going to be incredibly insufferable, by the way, for the next several weeks, is a very interesting direction to be taking things, especially 2 weeks before the Royal Rumble. And I'm very curious to see what they're going to do. Especially like you and I were talking a couple minutes ago about the fact that they already have all the WrestleMania stuff, like the advertising out, and Drew wasn't on any of that. So I don't know if that means this is just going to be a short reign or if this is going to be a wrench in the plans to everything. But it will be very interesting going forward. And I'm curious to see if SmackDown is, because I'm not going to lie, even though this was taped, it was definitely a better episode of SmackDown. And much like last week, the one you attended, I'm hoping that this is a sign that WWE is actually righting the ship as far as Friday nights go.
Yeah. So let's break down the match and then we will kind of get into some fantasy booking and figure out kind of where we go from here. So, Drew McIntyre obviously defeated Cody Rhodes via cage escape in the three stages of Hell match. McIntyre won by escaping the cage, kind of rolling out of the cage at the end of the match. He distracted the referee in the match and exposed the turnbuckle, allowing him to strike Cody Rhodes with a low blow and hit him with a Claymore kick behind the official's back. Rhodes then obviously evened the score in the Falls Count Anywhere match by picking up the victory there. McIntyre put Rhodes through a table, only for Rhodes to later frog splash McIntyre through a different one. Uh, Cody, put a number, just you get a number of crossroads onto Drew McIntyre, one through the announcer's desk. It was just absolutely chaotic. And then, when it finally came to the ending of the match, a returning Jacob Fatu came in, got into the cage as the cage door opened. He initially started attacking McIntyre, who I guess at this point is the prime suspect, is the person who attacked him and injured him. Kind of the way this went down leads me to believe that, but we'll talk about it. And then obviously this caused Cody to be like, what the hell are you doing? He got involved. They fought, and this allowed McIntyre to sneak out of the cage and ultimately win the undisputed championship. So let's talk about the match first. Did you like the match? Did you dislike the match? Did you think it could have been better, worse? What about the ending, etc.?
So, first things, I think WWE was incredibly smart to have the entire last hour of SmackDown be commercial free. I don't know how much they had to pay to do that, but for a match of this type, I think doing it without any sort of breaks or picture in picture like they like to do on SmackDown definitely helped it, and it helped the presentation of it. Also helped it feel more like a PLE type main event. And I don't know, the first match of the three was kind of whatever. It was just your standard match that Drew won through a nutshot. A little bit disappointing that it ended that way, but of course, Drew's character, slimy heel, that's what he does. The second match, the Falls Count Anywhere one, I think was the best of the three. The going all around the arena, the jumping off of the high things by Cody, all the crossroads for Cody to pick up the evening match there. I think that was the best out of all three. And then my only problem with the steel cage match, so obviously Fatu came back. I'm assuming, like you said, they're going to go the route that it was Drew that attacked him, and Fatu's probably going to harass Drew for the next month or so. I feel like the fact that the cage door got left open and Cody didn't rush over there to try and get it closed, kind of makes him look like a goober.
Mhm.
Um, and that for Mr. QB1 to drop the title through basically a mistake is it keeps him strong in the sense he didn't get pinned, but it does kind of make him look like a dumbass.
Yeah, so we'll talk about Cody in a second, but I think let's talk about Drew first. So good for Drew, for one thing. Obviously, the internet has been all about this for a while, but I think it's safe to say better late than never for
Yeah,
Drew. Give him an opportunity to run with the title. I do not think this is going to be a long title reign. I bet he
no,
doesn't even have the belt going into WrestleMania, truthfully. Like I have a feeling he will drop this title before WrestleMania gets here because
yep,
I do not see Drew McIntyre being in the main event of WrestleMania Night 2.
no,
I don't see it. This title will be the main event of Night 2 of WrestleMania, or Punk's title will be the main event of Night 2 of WrestleMania. And Drew will not. They will not. I don't think they're ready to put Drew McIntyre in that spot.
no.
So plus, he's not on he's not. They could change the advertisements, but he hasn't been on the advertisements up until this point. He's not one of the quote unquote big four, right? And I just because of the way wrestling in WWE specifically has been booked, I am not of the mind that the main event is still not going to be Cody versus Roman for that title.
My only complaint, if it does end up being Cody versus Roman, is that Cody will have only held the title again for what, a month maybe before dropping it to Roman.
I wonder if they're doing this to have him not drop it to Roman.
I mean, I would be much more behind that, but the fact that Roman says that he is going to be back on a more time basis than he previously has been, I have a hard time not seeing them put the belt back on him.
I just don't really know. Like in 2026, what do we do with Roman Reigns as the champion? And ultimately, I hate to say this to you, but like, how much more do we have to do with Cody Rhodes as the champion too? I think
You're
like we
not
still
wrong.
we have to do the Randy story, right? Like that has to happen at some point. And they've been teasing that for a while. I don't know if maybe that's the direction they're going to go with him, and maybe they do keep the belt on Drew until WrestleMania. I still don't see it, but we'll just go down that rabbit hole for a second. I mean, Cody and Randy does not need a title,
No.
right? So like we could do that match at WrestleMania. Um, but I don't know. Are we gonna really, go down that road without Cody having the title? Are we gonna maybe turn Cody heel? Like what are we gonna do here?
So if Drew keeps the title, firstly, I wonder if this is the sign that they're back on their Sammy winning the Rumble kick. Because I could see them doing Sammy versus Drew. They made a real big point in that backstage segment about Sammy saying how Drew is somebody he's never beaten. And I find that very interesting that he went out of his way to specify something like that. So I'm calling it now. I think they're gonna have Sammy win the Rumble. And I think that Cody losing the title is gonna be what pushes him towards the heel turn.
So what was the WrestleMania? What was the WrestleMania where the title match wasn't the main event?
The Undertaker Roman one.
Right, that one was one. There were a couple of them though, right? Where the
Yeah.
main title wasn't there was like a non-title match wasn't the main event, right? So I guess my point is that Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn, I don't care how you slice it, that is not a main event of WrestleMania. It's not.
No.
Like it's unfortunate because they're both great, but it's not. You haven't built those characters up enough to make me believe that that could be the main event of WrestleMania. Now, could you do that in 3 months? I mean, maybe, but those two guys have to be front and center every single week. And you
Yep.
really have to make that big time. And right now, obviously, they haven't started that yet. So, yeah, if you have Sammy win the Rumble and you make that big time and you turn it into a big time blood feud, maybe. But from where I'm sitting today, right now, I don't want Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre as the main event of WrestleMania. I want it at WrestleMania, and I would want Sammy to win. I am of the mind that Sammy should win the championship
I mean, they
once.
gave Drew the shot, or they gave not Drew, Jay the shot.
Yeah.
So why does as much as I don't like Sammy, I'm back on my I don't mind him as much because he's been off TV for a little while. The problem is though is I don't know if Sammy has the chops to do like a crazy blood feud like that.
I mean, he's done them with Kevin Owens in the past.
Yeah, but that has more I think that has more to it because of the fact that everybody knows about them in real life and they can play in that outside of wrestling friendship as part of it.
You don't think we're gonna um you don't think we're gonna immediately go into a feud with Jacob and Drew or Jacob and Cody? Like, what are we gonna do with
Um,
Jacob?
I don't think it'll be right away because you obviously have whoever's going to face him at the Royal Rumble, which I personally think is going to be Damian Priest. But I think Fatu will be right after that
So what do we do with him now? Because like I mean that's gotta be
with
so
who Fatu.
when Drew McIntyre comes out to the ring next Friday and is insufferable, who comes out?
Oh, I think Fatu is still going to be messing with him. He's going to be screwing with him the whole time. Even with going into this other match, he's going to be harassing him and doing all this. But I think that obviously because Fatu is not part of the qualifier match for whoever faces him at the Rumble, that's the only reason I don't think he gets obviously the first match.
So let's talk about those qualifier matches then. So there's going to be four of them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Four qualifier matches, and I forget who is in all of those qualifier matches. Damien,
I know Miz and
yeah,
Randy are one of them.
yep. Let me take a look.
Priest and someone. Is it Priest and Solo?
Let's take a look.
Matt Cardona and someone, and then Sammy and Ilya.
That's right.
I don't remember who. I don't remember who Solo is facing, who Priest is facing, and who Cardona is facing. And then there's
There we
one
go.
other person.
So it's Priest versus Solo, Randy versus Miz, Sammy versus Dragonoff, and Matt Cardona versus Trick Williams.
Okay. I think if you wanted me to make an off the cuff prediction off all of them right now, I think Matt Cardona beats Trick Williams. I think
Oh, I don't.
Il- I do because I don't think they're ready to put Trick into the main event quite like that.
No, but he'll
Um,
lose in
I
the second round. I
I
don't think they're
think it's
ready.
yeah, because it's whoever all four of these, whoever wins gets put into a fatal four way. But if they want to treat Cardona like a serious person rather than the joke wrestler he was as Zack Ryder, the smart thing is to have him win this match. Trick, you already know what you're going to be getting from him. If I think for character reasons, need to have Cardona win. I think Dragunov beats Sammy. I
Really?
think yes, because I think Sammy's going to win the Rumble. I don't think he needs to win this right now. I think Priest beats Solo, and because the Wyatts are going to somehow interfere, and then I think that Randy obviously beats Miz,
Oh,
and then I
yeah.
think, and then I think Priest wins the whole thing because I think this is the reason why Priest beat Aleister Black is so that he would be looking strong going into this.
I just hope beyond hope that Aleister Black does not come back and cost him this title shot opportunity.
No,
I
and
will
Anvil.
lose my mind if at the Royal Rumble Aleister Black comes back and costs Damian Priest this title opportunity.
Well, considering I'll probably be watching it with you, I'd probably throw something.
So, so it certainly should be interesting. So The rest of SmackDown obviously saw Trick Williams defeat Ray Phoenix via pinfall with a handful of tights. Before the match, Randy Orton got the better of Trick and Miz in a verbal altercation that turned physical. But this is obviously great match. I mean, these two guys are awesome. I don't love what they are doing with Trick William or with Ray Phoenix, but I don't hate it enough for this to fall into the bad category.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like this is okay. This is still in the good for me. Just because these guys are such excellent wrestlers, but I really am of the mind we need to figure something out with Ray Phoenix sooner rather than later.
So Trick winning by cheating keeps this from being bad for me because it keeps it from being a burial. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
if Trick won straight up clean, then I would be angry. But he won through devious means, and I'm okay with that. And as far as the promo, I think Trick's promo work with Randy was absolutely fantastic. And I think that he has really stepped his game up coming to the main roster. Like he was looking good in NXT, but it feels like he's on a whole nother level now. And I I could see him being a champion sooner rather than later. And then, of course, who doesn't love seeing The Miz get RKO'd?
I do love seeing the Miz get RKO'd. And there were two other things, in my opinion, that were good on this show. And I think the rest of it is going to fall into the bad category, unfortunately. But there was a cute little backstage segment with Johnny Gargano dressed up as Axiom attacking Nathan Frazier. This was just kind of hilarious, like this whole thing. I love this is a good thing for these guys to kind of sink their teeth into for a little while because I heard some reports that Tommaso Ciampa might be on his way out.
As we mentioned
So um so we might need to find something else to do with Gargano until his contract runs up and he probably leaves too. But you know, we'll certainly see how that goes. But this is fine. Like I'm fine with these guys having matches. They're all excellent wrestlers and they need to fill time. So I think it's fine.
So I think, first of all, how funny it was that how much Johnny Gargano looked like Axiom with
Yeah.
the mask on, like body wise and everything, too. So it was believable that Frazier fell for it. But as far as the Ciampa thing goes, I think it's very interesting because I've heard rumors that he wants to let his contract expire similar to what Becky Lynch did to take time off. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did a similar thing where he let it expire, took some time off because he's had neck problems and he's had some injury problems over the last few years to allow himself to heal up before WWE were to re-sign him. I
He's not
don't
a spring
see
chicken anymore either. So
no, and I don't see Gargano going anywhere. WWE has treated him and his wife so well, especially with bringing them back, that I have a hard time seeing them leave to go to the competition.
yeah, no, maybe you're right. Um, and then the only other thing in the good on this show was finally we get a credible challenger for Julia in Alexa Bliss. I know there was Charlotte may be sick or may have caught in a flu or something, but yeah, there's a nasty flu going around this week, guys. I don't know if you are aware of it, but it hit me like a ton of bricks earlier in the week, and it was not pleasant. You may have seen it on one of our earlier episodes. I sounded like death warmed over. But with that being said, you know, best wishes out to Charlotte. Hope she makes a speedy recovery. But it was great to see Julia and Alexa Bliss. I mean, this was an okay match. But this is what we need to do with that women's United States title. We need to have better challengers around that title. It needs to not be Alba Fire, Michin, who are in the main event scene right now. Um, but you know, people like Alexa Bliss, and there are so many people you could be bringing in from NXT and others on the roster when we, start to move things around and bring people around to let Julia kind of do the same thing that we've done with the US Open Challenge as well.
Like I've been saying for a very long time, the problem that they've had with Julia was the lack of believable challengers because so many of their important women were tied up in other things. And I know it kind of sucks to take people out of those other storylines, But just because somebody's in a tag team doesn't mean they can't challenge for a singles title. And I think that by allowing credible people to challenge Julia, it will allow them to sort of repair her reputation. The only thing that I wasn't happy with out of this was she still isn't getting really the reaction that I would like to see her getting, considering the skill level she has. That and then the fact I really hate WWE and them wanting to have their Asian wrestlers yell at the camera in their language. Like they do it with Asuka, they do it with Kyrie, they do it with like they've done it with everybody in the past. Like do something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm fine with it though. I love Julia. She's a great wrestler, and I just hope that they continue to do this with the women's US Open channel, the women's US title.
Yep.
Um, but on to the men's title, which this is going to go into the bad for me, and I think everything else on this show is going to go into the bad for me. I love Carmelo Hayes. I think he's excellent. I am done with Shinsuke Nakamura. I cool, he's back. I don't care. Shinsuke Nakamura to me just strikes me as not interested anymore. Like it was cool to see him wrestle and he can still do some cool stuff, but he just comes across so uninterested to me. Is it just me or like do you notice this with him?
He's
Like
always kind
we
of
kind of do
had
the
that.
same we do the same thing with him sort of over and over again. He comes back, he have a few matches, maybe he'll surprise win the US title, then he'll drop it and then he'll go away.
I mean, Nakamura's always had kind of that like cultural disconnect thing going on. And I think, I mean, the match itself was fine. I think that something like the U.S. Open Challenge is the fine spot for him to show up, especially if they don't have anything for like him to do. So rather than him just sitting in the back room, it's an open challenge. These are the kind of things you're going to expect. People who don't really get a whole lot of chance in other points. So I was okay with him answering, and I really liked that they had a show of respect at the end of the match as well. So
Yeah,
I'd
that's
kind
fair.
of put this like more in the like neutral slash meh. I mean, it wasn't the best of the open challenges, but it was all right.
I guess. It doesn't I don't know. Nakamura just doesn't do it for me anymore. Like I was a really big fan of his and I loved his entrance and I loved, how he used to really play to the crowd. Now he just really comes across as not interested to me. And I think it comes across when you're watching him. But maybe that's just me.
He's now part of it I think is that he's past. I'm not gonna say his expiration point, but his best buy date. I think that he's a few months past that.
Yeah. Also in the not so great category, the MFTs did defeat the Wyatt Six. After Tomatonga hit Howdy with a cutthroat, and then on the way out, Solo Sokoa stole Bray Wyatt's lantern and kind of walked away. But what are we doing here? Can we please get these damn tag titles? Can we do something with these damn tag titles? I am so tired of what we are doing I'm done with the Wyatts. I'm done with the Wyatts. You've heard me say it on this channel numerous times. I don't need cartoons in my wrestling anymore. I don't need cartoon characters in my wrestling anymore. The match was fine, like whatever. It was a fine match, but with these titles can never be on them again. Once these titles come off of them, that is it. They can never go on them again if you want them to be taken seriously. Because I don't take these titles seriously at all right now. I
You
don't.
don't defend him. Like
Nope.
that's my problem is you put the titles on a group that defends them what once every 3 months, and it's hard to take it seriously when like you're alienating a huge part of one of your best parts of SmackDown in the tag team scene. Like where have the machine guns been? Like where have
The Street
Frazier and
Profits
Axiom
been.
been? Right. Like give me the titles on you know what? I don't even care. Keep the titles on the Wyatts, but have them defending the damn things.
Yep. You got a 3 hour show now. You have a perfect opportunity to have a really excellent tag team championship match every couple of weeks as your main event. Like, why are
Yep.
you not doing that? It's so easy to do. Like, between all three titles, you could have Julia's title main event the show once a month, Carmelo's title main event the show once a month, the tag team titles main event the show once a month. Like, it writes itself. It's so
Yep.
easy. And it would
Yep.
add prestige and credibility to all of those titles. Like, you remember when Bobby Lashley captured the US title, and I think that was around the time that maybe Brock Lesnar was the champion, or no, when Roman Reigns was the champion.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar captured, or Bobby Lashley captured the US title. And because Roman was like never on TV, the US title came across as like a huge deal. And the WWE like really did a great job putting it in the main event of shows and stuff like that. They need to do that again, right? Like with both of them, with both the men's and the women's, because it would make the titles feel like a bigger deal. Because you're doing such a shit job with Jade Berg's title, for one thing,
Has
and
she defended it yet?
the men's tag team titles. So, and I mean, I don't know, we've said it at length on this channel, and I don't really want to like keep beating a dead horse with this. But I mean, this show again, the downright ugly, again, the women's main event title scene. And I don't want to keep just crapping on Jade, but like you call Jordan Grace up, you have her immediately have a match with Alba Fire, whatever. I mean, fine. She comes up and beats a jobber, fine. And then, Jade just gets right in her face and she's going to injure her next. I mean, we never had a payoff with the Meechin and BFAB story. Oh, wait, because they both got injured by Jade.
Yep.
So we're just on right on to the next thing. Like what are we doing?
Like, I don't
What?
know that I want to risk them putting a new call up getting injured in a match like that. Like, at what point do you see enough out of what's going on with Jade that she can't cut it? I'm sorry. Like, some people just, they have the look, but they don't have the skill.
And a new call up in that who they seem to be pretty high on, but I don't think the audience knows very much about yet, right? In Jordan Grace. She's not a big marquee name with the audience yet, you know? No, I mean,
Not enough.
unless you follow TNA or NXT, you don't really know who she is. The main
Yeah.
audience, like the 12-year-olds who go to those shows on a regular basis, they don't know who she is. She's not Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch or Bianca Belair. They
No,
don't know who she is. So if you want to build her up, you need to do a better job with it. And if you're going to immediately just feed her to Jadeberg, like
that
I don't know.
ruins
That's
her.
that's why for me, again this week, the women's main event title scene just goes into the downright ugly bucket because I hate it. It's the
Right.
worst part of the show for me. Every time I see Jade on TV or anything surrounding that title, and frankly, I'm kind of getting the same way with Stephanie's title. I just fast forward through it. I don't even want to watch it. I'm not interested in it at all.
But for God's sakes, Jade's promos are so bad. Like, I almost tune her out, and then all you hear is, "Oh, I'm that bitch." Like,
Hmm. Same
okay,
thing every week. Like, can you cut a real promo?
yep,
Like, cut a real promo. Like, are we just leaving her in a holding pattern until Bianca comes back? Because that's what it feels like what we're doing.
that's 100% what it feels like. I don't know. I don't know if they're afraid to put anybody else up against her now, especially with her injuring two people. But like, do you really want to then risk injuring Bianca coming back against her too? Like, I mean, I don't know. At what point does somebody prove that they're a big of enough of a safety issue where you can't even trust them in the ring anymore?
And where's Tiffany?
Supposedly she's been working out, so she should be coming back soon, probably for the Rumble.
I don't know. I don't know.
That was the last
So
I heard is that expect her in the Rumble.
yeah. So that was SmackDown. Um, the title change obviously was, the major talking point of this show, and I'm very curious to see where we go from here. But with that, what is your final rating for the show?
Um, Due to the title change, I'll give it a 3.5. I think that SmackDown, with the move to 3 hours for the new year, has definitely been starting off on the right foot, especially compared to the last several months of our reviews. Obviously, there still is some bad and some ugly, but the good has been good enough to offset that for the most part. So I'm hoping that they can continue that upward trend, and very curious to see where they go with Drew.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it's definitely better late than never over the last couple of years with McIntyre. Like, we've been will they, won't they with him, becoming the champion, almost winning it and then almost losing it, and losing it in 5 minutes and change at WrestleMania last year or the year before. And it's great for his character, and I'm really happy that they pulled the trigger on him. And I think they did the right thing in, taking the title off of Cody. I don't think Cody's not going to be without the title for a very long time. And certainly it's a positive turn, I think, for the main event scene right now. Um, so with that, I would say my final rating is a Samoan Werewolf out of 5.
All gas, no
Uh,
brakes.
no all gas, no brakes. All brakes, no gas. But with that, that is our show, guys. Thank you so much for all of your comments and all of your support to the channel. We really do appreciate it. And please leave your comments down below and let us know what you guys thought of the show. Did you like the title change? Did you hate the title change? We want to definitely engage in that discourse because we love to read the comments. We do read and respond to all of them, and it helps kind of help us drive the conversation on these shows because we love to see what you guys have to say. And you guys have really added a lot to our discourse. So we appreciate it. So with that, have yourselves a fantastic evening and enjoy the football this weekend and take care.